Now, I know you're probably thinking, what in the world is I Want to Eat Your Pancreas? That sounds like the strangest name ever. And I understand that it is a really weird name, but it's a very good movie. So the movie goes like this. A girl in his class dies. No, it's not a spoiler. It's how the movie starts. He doesn't go to the funeral, but mentions something about a text that he sends. Flashback a couple months, I believe. He goes to a hospital to fix the stitches from a previous surgery that he had and sees a book on the ground. He reads the book and discovers it's a diary called Living with Dying. It details a girl who is living with pancreatic cancer who is the same age as him. That girl discovers he has the book and tells him that she's gonna die, and he just says, "You don't say." The girl laughs because no one has ever reacted in that way before. After talking for a little bit, they both realize that they go to the same school and are in the same class. But she has one rule, and that is to not tell anyone about the cancer. They basically form a pact to not tell anyone about the illness, which then leads into something greater. Now to the explanation of the title. In certain cultures, when they say they want to eat an organ and then actually eat organs from different animals, it means something like, I want the bad stuff to go away, or to protect that organ. I honestly didn't think this movie was going to hit hard. They straight up tell you that she's going to die, not through foreshadowing like other shows, but like they show you the funeral and everything. There are other parts that are supposed to hit hard as well, but I just wasn't feeling it yet. But then I reached one of the final scenes of the movie. This movie just keeps building up the characters till the end, and it makes the final scene that much more impactful. I usually don't cry or bawl at movies or TV because the characters aren't real, but this movie had me tearing up hard. Now, I don't really know, but whenever I start to cry, my body's like, no! So the tears don't really flow. This movie was so hard to keep the tears in, because I definitely felt for the characters. Speaking of the characters are so well developed. The main character, me? No, that isn't his name. But his name has plot significance, so you'll discover it later in the movie. It's a normal high schooler. He's extremely introverted, so I could definitely relate. He finds joy in thinking about what others think of him, and is all around a pretty closed dude. It doesn't help that everyone at his school has it out for him. The voice actor, Takasugi Mahiro, does a great job transitioning with the character.
僕は家族以外全ての人間関係を頭の中の想像で完結させてきた。変わったんだと感じた。人に興味がなかった僕がいつの間にか彼女に変えられていた。
As the movie progresses, you learn more about his character and he becomes more able to open up. The most surprising thing is that this voice actor's only role is this movie. His ability to channel emotion through even the subtlest of speech is great. The girl in this movie, Sakura Yamauchi, is extremely outgoing, so the complete opposite to me. She pushes me to do things that he doesn't want to do and eventually takes him with her on her things I want to do before I die list adventure. This voice actress, Lin, does a great job as well. Sakura is a character with two sides, like the main character. She's a very outgoing person, but she's also very fragile, as the movie puts it. The voice actress's range is very good, showcasing high pitches and lows for the fun stuff and the emotional stuff, respectively.
私はこうやって普通のことをしてるのが楽しいの。私は膵臓が使えなくなって。あとちょっとで死にます。
There are also some side characters that are great as well. Sakura's close friend from middle school, Kyoko, is a pretty interesting character who is portrayed as the one girl that you love to hate. She really hates the main character, just like most people at his school. She questions him at every turn, like, why are you hanging out with Sakura? She's fragile, you know. Don't hurt her or I'll kill you. Just normal things. Me personally, I didn't really like her till the very end because she's incredibly rude. but she's very important to the development of Mii's character. There's also the Gum Boy. They talked him up in the interviews before the movie, at least the dub cast did. But I didn't think he was that important. He does, again, help me grow. He starts talking with me with a simple question.
ガムいる?
He interrogates me like most people in his class, but then eventually calms down some, and it's really the first step in the change for me. It seems to me like the fastest and the best way to like a character is comedy, and this movie definitely does that. There's a lot of comedy between the two characters, and they're both very good for each other. The comedy is kind of dark comedy, so if you don't like that, you might not like some of the jokes, but they're pretty funny in a morbid kind of way. Comedy and tragedy work well together because without it, I feel some parts wouldn't hit as hard. You learn to love the characters from funny things they say or do, so when tragedy strikes, it's like, oh, that sucks, I really liked that character. Because you learn to like them through the comedy. Straight tragedies can be good too, but I think comedy adds a layer to already complex characters. The opening and the ending were sung by Sumika, and if that name sounds familiar, they're the guys who did the Wotakoi Love is Hard for an Otaku opening. The songs they sing are very good. The soundtrack is very good as well. Hiroko Seibu composed the soundtrack, and every track just works. The sound design is okay, but great in other areas. There are times where sound gets bumped up and you can feel the impact of whatever is going on, like the slam on a table or someone falling. There are also parts where they omit sound entirely, and it adds more to a scene.
日記? 膵臓死ぬ?
それ、私のなんだ。
Why I say it's okay is because some of the slaps and the punches don't feel like they have weight, so I don't feel them personally. The cinematography for this film is also stand out. They frame shots very well, either with playing with depth of field, which is how in or out of focus the background is from the subject, to focus on specific parts of a scene, or through frames within frames showcasing togetherness or isolation. I don't know if it was just me, but sometimes the character's movement was very smooth, and that was pretty neat. The details in the faces and hands were very good, especially in close-up shots. Now that I've talked about all of the good, I want to talk about the bad. The character designs aren't really anything special. They look kind of bland. It honestly looks like something that was made years ago. Studio Volm made this, and they're pretty new, so they haven't made much. If their intention was to look older, then they did a great job. The narration at some points was very unneeded. This is a novel adaptation after all, so you're gonna get those explainy bits, but film is about show, not tell. I feel like with anime in particular, it always has this problem of adapting works. If it's a novel adaptation, it's either adapted really well or so poorly that you want to light yourself on fire, which is the case most of the time. Like I said, only at some points did I think the narration was bad. The inner thoughts of me helped sometimes, and even added more to the plot, and sometimes the emotional scenes in my opinion. The last thing I need to talk about is a spoiler, so as per usual, spoiler warning. The way they did Sakura's death was cheap in my opinion. She doesn't die due to the pancreas, but because she gets randomly stabbed in an alley. Sure, it was very surprising, but like why? I think it would have been better if she was gonna die the normal way, but unexpectedly, because they were talking about a promise that they would keep. Because of this stabbing, the promise couldn't be kept. Sorry, little nitpick here, but this is one of the scenes that narration isn't needed. They told us before that they were gonna make promises to have me return the Little Prince book and have Sakura to tell me when she was gonna die. They show the Little Prince book and the death on screen, so that bit isn't needed. But anyway, the movie could have felt more real and have more emotional impact if she died from the pancreas, then follow up with the diary scene. Those are my thoughts on the movie. Did you guys see it? If you did, what did you think? Please, no spoilers in the comments below. Try to be vague. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that. Please follow the socials too.